The year is 2020, and Runescape is booming. Among the gaming hype during lockdowns, you're an original. You've played Runescape for a long time. You have 19.8 billion gold to your name, worth more than all the oil in Iran. And you go to Runescape's duel arena. You decide to stake it all in one bet, a 50-50 coin flip. And you lose. But that wasn't your money. Your friend gave that to you, and now you're in debt. And because you live streamed it all, the world is watching. This is the story of Odablock, RuneScape's most viewed content creator. And he's presumed to be RuneScape's wealthiest player of all time. But back in 2017, he had one viewer, his brother Mo. He started out by live streaming his high-risk PKing, RuneScape's most intense and riskiest form of player versus player combat. Streaming with a budget setup and a crackly microphone, people enjoyed the high-risk adrenaline rush and crazy antics on stream.
Thank you for playing!
His live stream grew to 5 viewers, then 20, then 100. By 2019, he and his brother built a small and loyal community, and they loved to watch him stake. His viewers trusted that he would pay them back, so they lent him money to gamble with.
Thank you so much, man. I'm sorry. I have failed you. I just can't seem to win a stake.
Little did he know this trust would become a curse in disguise, because that 19 billion debt, it was just the tip of the iceberg after a year-long loss streak at the duel arena. By 2020, he dug himself into a hole of 258 billion gold. His fans were waiting for their money back. People called him a scammer. Even his long-term viewers were doubting him, and people said he would never pay it back. This is Odablock's story, how he went from 258 billion in debt to becoming RuneScape's richest player. Odablock started PKing on RuneScape when he was just 10 years old. At that time, people barely understood PvP. What used to be a simple, slow-paced fight eventually evolved into a high-speed, highly technical battle with big wealth at stake. In those early days, Odablock was just getting started.
At a declaw PK, my brother, he would get jealous and like just be shocked on how I just did that. I'm like, learn, little bro, learn. Well, it would be big bro, but you know what I mean.
Sometime before 2010, he tried making a pure account, but after accidentally claiming defense experience from the Monkey Madness 1 quest, his build was ruined. He gave up on the main game and moved to unofficial private servers.
When I first found PKing, I believe it was through a YouTube video. So I was like, you know what, let me make a pure. I started making a pure on RuneScape. I did MM1, I got defense by accident. Said, F this. Went to private servers, PK'd on private servers, kept practicing on there for years. I played all private servers that you could think of.
And he stayed there until old school RuneScape officially launched in 2013. He had started uploading videos in 2012, but he didn't gain much traction until he started streaming on Twitch in 2017. His streams focused on high-stakes fights, like high-risk no-arming and dare-hawking. But whatever profits he squeezed out of his opponents, he took straight to the duel arena and gambled it all. When he won, he kept going. When he lost, he went back to the PvP worlds to rebuild his bank through high-risk PK. At least for his streaming career, this cycle worked. Within his first 2 years, his audience grew from his brother Mo to thousands of concurrent viewers. But eventually, the content shifted into something much more degenerate. By late 2019, Odablock was spending far more time at the duel arena, and he wasn't just gambling his own gold anymore. His viewers started loaning him massive amounts of gold just to watch him gamble it. But there was a problem. He was losing far more often than he was winning, and he spiraled into massive debt. By December of 2019, he owed tens of billions of gold. And back then, in-game wealth was even harder to come by than it is today. But just when he thought it couldn't get any worse, it did. These stakes were supposed to be 50-50, but Odablock just kept losing almost every stake. Over the next few months, the tens of billions of gold of debt snowballed into hundreds of billions. It's 2020 and Odablock's debt has come up to 258 billion gold. If you could theoretically make 20 million GP per hour, it would take 12,900 hours to make that much gold. That's 18 non-stop months of playing RuneScape. And to be in debt that much could be a career-ending liability. People expected him to quit streaming entirely and leave his lenders empty-handed. They assumed he'd never pay it back, comparing him to other gambling streamers that took loans from their audience and logged off forever. But Odablock wanted to prove he was different. He wanted to pay back the loans. But it was easier said than done, and all this burden was affecting his mental health. Even his family was starting to notice.
it was slowly, I guess, deteriorating me in a way because I was getting very stressed out. Skinny as shit. I literally looked like an Anku from Catacombs of Karen, right? I mean, brother, you got to put like an edit on the screen, like flash it for a tip. But yeah, I looked like that, bro. It was really bad. But now, like, you know, yeah, the health wasn't, you know, all good back then.
But then he won a stake, and another, and another. And when he lost, he would go risk fight, his true specialty with almost guaranteed profits. Because with risk fighting, he could sometimes make hundreds of mils per hour. But oftentimes his fans wanted to see him stake, and they would give him gift chucks to stake with, not loans. If he won, he would give back the amount he was given and keep the profit. If he lost, the viewer got the satisfaction of watching the stake and helping chip away at his debt. Through a combination of high-risk PKing, a receding hairline, and the sheer generosity of his audience, he started paying it off.
Oh my god, that's the biggest one I've ever had! Galeen! We'll take it. Yes! Yes!
The strategy was working. After a few grueling months, Odablock completely cleared his debt. But the stress took a very literal toll, causing him to lose his hair in the process.
I truly think I went bald because of the debt. My looked like freaking like a farm patch after it was all said and done.
You lose one stake, there goes 100 follicles. You know, lose another stake, there goes another.
Like actually though, like it was just like like the XP drops falling every single time.
Yeah. But yet, while his hair was gone, his wealth and his content creation career were just about to blow up. Once Odablock clawed his way out of that massive hole, he made a strict decision. He was never going into debt again. There would be no more loans. If he stepped foot in the arena, it was strictly with his own money. What are the differences between how you made money to get out of debt and after that? Like, is it still mostly high risking and stuff?
So shortly after I got out of that, the duel arena got removed, right? I'm pretty sure you, the interviewer yourself, was a big factor of that. Am I mad at you? Absolutely not. I don't give a crap about the duel arena. The duel arena got removed. So it was just straight skill now. I just keep risk fighting. Now it's all up to my skill. And I guess just my bank just slowly kept building every single day because I go live almost every single day. And it just became this thing where now I'm the richest player in the game.
His focus shifted a lot. So mostly he was now doing high risk PKing. And to prove his point, he launched a new YouTube series, starting with nothing and fighting his way to the max cash limit. This is a challenge most content creators attempt and quietly abandon because it is simply too difficult. Odablock uploaded his first episode, and less than 10 days later, he uploaded the finale.
From scratch, no donations, no gift chucks, just from PKing and high risking. Yeah, I did. I completed it.
A grind that takes veterans months to complete, he did in a week. And the truth is pretty straightforward. Odablock established himself as one of the best PKers in the game. But because of this, a lot of players didn't want to fight him. They knew they would lose. So he would routinely risk 5, 10, or 20 times more than them. He did this because he simply knew his raw mechanical skill still heavily outweighed the odds. This level of confidence and dominance in PKing brought in massive amounts of wealth and an entirely new wave of viewers. His bank was at negative 258 billion not too long ago, but now it's finally growing. From zero to max cash, then 10 billion, then 100 billion, mostly through risk fighting. He capitalized on the momentum, expanding his content into the most punishing challenges the game had to offer. At this point, staking at the duel arena was not even an option anymore. That was taken away, so he built specialized accounts, achieved the prestigious Grandmaster status, and completely maxed out his character. But as his content evolved, so did he. The community used to see him as the loud, degenerate gambler who lost his hair to a 258 billion gold deficit. But his life was changing off screen. He started working out, he got married, and even became a father of 2. Even players who previously could not stand him found themselves tuning in. His streams became a relentless highlight reel of viral moments, and his YouTube channel started taking off. The shift in public perception was undeniable. At the Golden Gnomes, a Jagex-hosted community annual award show, Odablock didn't just win once. He took home the Best Streamer award 3 years in a row, from 2023 to 2025.
Back to back, for the third time, it's Odablock.
Let's go!
By this point, he had conquered almost everything. He was a Grandmaster. He held the rank 1 spot in competitive modes. And now his bank sat at a net worth of 270 billion gold, more than his original debt had ever been. But then he asked himself, what if he just focused on growing his bank? He announced the Road to 500 Bill series. The premise is straightforward. By any means possible, get to 500 bill as soon as he can. To hit this goal, he would need to generate 230 billion more gold. That's more than he's ever made in a single year from high risking. But this time he has an advantage. He's just going to be single-minded towards this one goal, using any and all accounts to achieve it.
We have this account station for risking, this account station for risking, this account station for risking, this account ready to kill any streamer that is hiding at Spindle or Calvarian or at any moment. We have the max med level at GE ready to risk fight anybody that is med level. And we have Omar stationed in World 579 ready to risk fight anybody that wants a crazy X on a main account.
At times, he would make something called a Zat's Crazy offer, where he would risk 5 to 20 times more than his opponent.
You will have a chance at very big money for a small amount of money. So it's a Zat's Crazy offer, right?
After just one stream, Odablock uploaded the first episode. His profit for the day, over 17 billion gold. And this was not a fluke. The trend continued stream after stream. He started the challenge on April 7th of 2025, and just over a month later, he posted the finale. In a little over 30 days, he PK'd his opponents for over 230 billion gold. More gold than he made the entire year before, just by being solely focused on this one goal. But the 500 billion goal was just a milestone. He kept streaming, he kept fighting, and today his net worth sits at over 700 billion, spread across multiple accounts and rare items. And he reached that number not by striving to become the wealthiest player ever known, but by simply playing the game passively and providing content to his audience. And his bank should actually be higher, because he hasn't done himself any favors by holding on to all the items. A lot of them have crashed, taking down his bank by about 250 bill.
If the items have never crashed and I sold all the items as soon as the 500 bill series ended, I'd have like 900 bill right now. I lost like 250 bill plus on just getting merched by items.
Whereas all the other top 10 wealthiest players in the game are merching to make their gold, Odablock has a different strategy, reverse merching. But even still, as far as the broader RuneScape community is aware, he has more wealth than anyone else currently holds in the entire game. There was a player named BTCs who once hit 1 trillion gold, but he's been permanently banned. And for context, Melon Merch, the subject of our previous documentary, peaked at 400 billion gold. But how much is Odablock's bank worth in real life? Assuming the market stayed stable at 14 million gold per bond, matching Odablock's wealth would cost you over 500,000 US dollars. His story started in a career-ending level of debt. His own fans doubted he would ever pay it back. But after years of putting in the effort, not only does he have the biggest publicly known bank, he also has one of the largest followings out of any RuneScape creator. And he learned a lot of lessons along the way. If you could go back to Odablock, who's 200 bill in the hole, like 6 years ago, what would you say to yourself?
Don't even try to make it back in the duel arena. Just go PKing and eventually you'll make it all back.
But he's not done there. He has no plans to push for a 1 trillion gold bank. But if he ever decides to go for it, it probably wouldn't take him very long. Right now, he has another series on the horizon. Check out his links in the description below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history of the richest player in old school RuneScape, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode of RuneScape Chronicles. And the full unlisted interview with Odablock is also linked below, available to our YouTube members. You might also want to check out our previous documentary on Melon Merch, the greatest merchant the game has ever seen. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.